Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
So let's get started. Today we will discuss about RPC. The full form is Remote Procedure Call. See, what are the main characteristics of distributed operating system? The main characteristics is when two processes are situated in completely different area network, then they can also communicate with each other. That is the main features of distributed operating system, and it is also one type of advantage also. That is why the distributed operating system is very much popular nowadays, because two processes can communicate with each other when they are situated completely different area network or completely on different system. So you know that in distributed operating system, each and every system has its own local memory, has its own local hardware, software, etc. And it's always follow loosely coupled architecture. So today we are going to discuss about RPC model, Remote Procedure Call model. Means in this type of model, two processes can communicate with each other, two processes can share their resources, two processes can pass messages when they are situated in completely different areas. So you can see. So what is the definition of remote procedure call? Remote procedure call says it is a protocol that one program can use to request a service from a program located in another computer on a network without having to understand the network details. Means two computers don't know the network details of its own network, but they can communicate with each other. Two system or two processes can communicate with each other when they are situated completely different area. And most important thing is two computers don't know their network details, but they can still communicate with each other. So that is the main concept of remote procedure call. Here you can see that this procedure call is also termed as subroutine call or function call. And one property of remote procedure call is it always follow client server architectural model. Means you can see the graphical representation of client server model. Here it is client and here it is server. So at first client want to access some resources which is situated on server side. So client want to access some resources which is situated on server side. So at first what client do? At first it initiate a remote call or initiates a request. So this request at first goes to server, then server checks that if this type of resources is available into my network or not, or this type of resources is occupied by another system or another process or not. So this type of conditional checking is done by on server side. Then server sends one reply message to the client, and then server sends its required resources to the client. So that is the concept of client server model. And this is the waiting time or idle time. In this time client has to wait for some time. So RPC model or remote procedure call model always follow client server architectural model. Okay. So here you can see that there are 5 components or 5 elements in RPC model. First, 2 components which is called the client and the client stub, which is situated on client side. Last 2 components which is called server stub and the server which is situated on server side. And in between client and server there is one component whose name is RPC runtime. So there are mainly 5 elements or 5 components in RPC model. There client, client stub, RPC runtime, server stub and the server. So these are the 5 components in RPC model. We'll see one by one. So at first our topic of discussion is client. What is client? See, client is nothing but it is the initiator who initiates the request. So at first what client do? Client is nothing but one process who initiates the request. Means now I want some request, want some resources or want some information which is located to another area network. So it is nothing but one process who initiates the request. So at first what client do? At first client initiates a RPC, that is remote procedure call. Then client makes a perfectly normal call that invokes the corresponding procedure in the client stub. So it is nothing but pass the request to its next element, which is called client stub. Now the next element is called client stub. So what is the meaning of stub? The meaning of stub is it is nothing but a piece of code whose main function is to convert the parameters. Means when one request came from client side, then at first what client stub do? At first is pack the request, pack all requests and sends it to its next element, means in RPC runtime. Then after when reply message comes from server side or RPC runtime side, then it's also unpack the request. So mainly the function of client stub is pack and unpack the request, means it's always convert the parameters. And stub is nothing but it is a piece of code or piece of program. So here you can see the definition of stub. The stub is piece of code used for converting the parameters. So here you can see the graphical representation of stub. So what stub do? At first client initiates some request. So this request at first client sends to its client stub section. Stub is nothing but a piece of code which at first pack the request, which is comes from client side. After packing, it sends the request to its next element, means on RPC runtime. Then when one reply message comes from RPC runtime, again what client stub do? Client stub again unpack the request and sends the resources to its client. So that is the main function of client stub. it always converts the parameter and pack and unpack the request and reply message. Then the next element is called RPC runtime, remote procedure called runtime. The main function of RPC runtime is it handles the transmission of messages between client and server. So it always acts like a central controller. Means it always handles the transmission between client and server. So that is the functionality of RPC runtime. Then the next two element is called the server stuff and the server, which is located on server side. So let me tell you what is the functionality of server stuff. The functionality of server stuff is, at first it unpacks the request, all request which is comes from client side. Then it also packs the reply message which is comes from server side. So again server stuff do the same thing. At first it unpack the request, then it pack the reply message. So here you can see it unpacks the call request and makes perfectly normal call to invoke the appropriate procedure in the server. Then the last element is called the server. The server is nothing but it executes the appropriate procedure and returns the result to the server side. So the main functionality of server is nothing but it provides the resources to the client. At first it searches its resources and take decision whether it is free or occupied by another procedure or not. If it is free, then it sends one reply message to its next element which is called server stuff. Server stuff packs this reply message and sends to its client side. So that is the main functionality of these 5 elements. First element is called client, then client stuff, then RPC runtime, then server stuff, then server. So that is the graphical representation how data is flowing in client server architecture of RPC model. See the picture very carefully. So this is the client side. So left one is client side and the right one is server side. So in client side there is two components or two elements. First one is called client and the second one is called client stuff. Then next element is called RPC runtime. So this RPC runtime is common in client section also and in server section also. And in the right hand side it is the server side. So server side contains two elements, server and server stuff. Now what happened? See, at first client machine, the client initiates a request message. That is the main function of client. It initiates the request. After initiating the request, it feeds its request message to its next element, which is called client stuff. The function of client stuff is, at first it receives the request message from the client and it packs the requirement and converts the parameters. So this packing is done by server stuff. Stuff is nothing but a piece of code whose main function is to converting the parameters. After packing all requests message, it sends the request message to the RPC runtime. You know that RPC runtime is the central controller. The main functionality of RPC runtime is it control the transmission between client and server. So here RPC runtime sends the request message, which is called the call packet, to the server side. Then what server side do? Server side, in server side at first, again here you can see one RPC runtime is situated in server side. This RPC runtime receives the request message, then it feeds its request message to the next element, which is called server stub. Then the server stub unpack the request message. So here client stub pack the request message, and here server stub unpack the request message. Then after unpacking the request, it feeds the request to the server. That is call. Then what server do? At first server checks whether this resources is free or not. If the resources is free, then it returns it, means it sends one reply message to its next element, which is called server stub. Then the server stub packs the reply message, and then it feeds the reply message to the next element, which is called RPC runtime. Then the RPC runtime sends this request packet to this RPC runtime, which is located on client area. So this RPC runtime again sends this reply message to its next element, which is called client stub. Then client stub unpack the reply message. After unpacking, it sends to the client. So that is the data flow in RPC model. So that is the end of our today's class. So today's class we have seen the property of RPC and how data is flow in RPC model.